everyone, my name is Sean, and in today's video we're going to be taking a deep look at the dinosaur deck profile that I put up last week on my channel as a Yu-Gi-Oh short. I was requested by 2 subscribers. I think one of them was Red Dice Money, who asked can I do a full profile on this because he wanted to learn a deck but was having a little bit of trouble doing so. And you know what, that's absolutely fine. I thought this deck had does have a little bit of a learning curve, and it took me a while to learn this deck as well. So let's talk about the concept of what dinosaurs are in Yu-Gi-Oh and how they work. Kind of like how zombies are all about reviving from the graveyard, dinosaurs are all about evolution, and they've always been on the concept of having the little dinosaurs evolve into bigger, more threatening dinosaurs. A good example of this is the Evo Tile archetype, where the Evo Tile are reptile monsters that are pretty weak, but then they evolve and get stronger into the Evo Soul monsters. Nowadays we don't really use those cards anymore, and they're actually really kind of old and slow. We have a different set of cards to go for. Now we're going to be looking at the baby dinosaurs, and that is this package here. The baby dinosaurs and modern day dinosaurs are all about surviving destruction and the end of the Jurassic Age. In this kind of in terms of Yu-Gi-Oh sense, this means being destroyed by card effects to summon out bigger monsters. For the baby dinosaurs, we are going to be playing our 5 cards. We have double Baby Cerosaurus, 1 Durac-Aleo, 1 double Petitoranodon. Durac-Aleo is only here as a level 1 tuner. It's just here to go into some synchro plays, which we'll talk about later on. But our main cards are the Baby Cerosaurus and the Petitoranodon. Now, Baby Cerosaurus and Petitoranodon are both the same card, but they will have a slight difference. Both of these cards can summon more dinosaur monsters out from your deck when they are destroyed by a card effect. Baby Cerosaurus only summons at level 4 or lower dinosaur monsters, whereas Petitoranodon can summon level 4 or higher dinosaur type monsters. Normally in the TCG we play a ratio of 3 of these and 1 of these, but Japan hates dinosaurs, and so we only have 2 copies of Baby Cerosaurus, and so we're going to play 2 of each of them. But what's really great about these cards is they are not once per turn effects. And in fact, you can destroy Baby Cerosaurus to summon another Baby Cerosaurus, to then go into Petitoranodon, to then go summon another bigger monster while chaining these cards continuously. They're very, very good cards. Now, the question maybe you're wondering is, how do we trigger their effects? How do we get this to work? Well, there are multiple ways to make this work, but first of all, we're going to talk about the field spell card, Lost World. And if you're not seeing the Jurassic Park theme already, I don't know what to tell you. Lost World is a card that does multiple things, and it reduces all monsters' attack and defense on the field by 500, except for dinosaur type monsters. Once per turn, if a dinosaur type monster is normal summoned or special summoned during your turn, you can give your opponent a token, which is level 1 with attack 0 defense and attack defense 0 to your opponent's field in defense position. And having a token on their field does 2 things. 1, while your opponent controls the token, they cannot target monsters on the field with card effects, except tokens. This is really great protection for your monsters, and is a great defensive card to have. But there's more. If a normal monster on the field will be destroyed by you or your opponent or by a card effect, and you can instead choose to not have that monster destroyed, and instead destroy that many dinosaur type monsters from your hand or deck instead. This can be a really quick way of triggering your baby monsters. So what you do is normal summon any dinosaur, give your opponent that token, attack the token, and then pop one of your babies out of your decks, and then you get to summon another monster out of your deck for free. But Lost World is one of the key cards, and to help us get to this card faster, we are playing 1 copy of Set Rotation and 1 copy of Terraforming. Set Rotation is only good in decks where you play multiple types of field spell cards, so we're going to have a few other field spell cards to help us use this card more efficiently. Might as well talk about other starters here. We've got double copy of Fossil Dig. This is our rotor for the deck, which normally searches out 1 level 6 or lower dinosaur from your deck to your hand. And then we also have our copy of Soul Eating Oviraptor, and this is your best normal summon for the deck. If this card is normal or special summon, you can take 1 dinosaur type monster from your deck and either add it to your hand or send it to the graveyard. This is really, really good. This is a fantastic monster. What's also good about this card is that you can trigger your baby monsters, because once per turn you can target 1 other level 4 or lower dinosaur type monster on the field, destroy it, special summon a different dinosaur type monster from your graveyard, and then if you destroy a baby card, that effect will trigger. So not only do you get a card from your graveyard for free, but then you get a card out of your deck for free. It's really, really great as an extender as well. The downside about playing dinosaurs in Yu-Gi-Oh! Legacy of the Duelist is, like I said, Japan hates dinosaurs. They just don't like them. And so this card is limited to 1, and this card is limited to 2. In terms of philosophy, I think this is a really, really bad idea. And that is mainly because in Japan, they have a card called Max C, which is a good card to deter people from playing combo decks, because every time your opponent special summons, you get to draw a card, and it's a hand trap. We don't have Maxi, and we haven't had Maxi for a long time. So we need good combo decks, good anti-combo decks to help us put those combo decks in check. Otherwise, we're playing a dice roll format where it really comes down to whoever does their combo first is the winner, and that's not really fun or healthy for the game. But unfortunately, we only have these 3 starters, so we have to make it work. Now, while the Lost World is a good trigger for your dinosaurs, wait until your battle phase is a bit slow. So we're going to be using a completely other engine to help us out here. And this is why it's called True King Dinosaurs, because we're using the True King archetype. We play 3 copies of Agni Mazard, double copies of Barastos, the Fathomer, and 1 copy of Livergasm, the Disaster. These cards are all very similar in what they do. They have 2 effects. 1, if this card is in your hand, you can destroy 2 other cards you control to summon this card to the field. Now, for you to do Agni Mazard, you must at least destroy 1 fire monster. For Barastos, water, and for Livergasm, earth. Now, that's not the only thing that happens. If both of the cards you destroy to summon out your card are the same attribute as a True King monster, you then get a bonus effect. For Agni Mazard, that allows you to banish 1 monster on your opponent's field or in their graveyard. For Barastos, this allows you to banish up to 2 spell trap cards from your opponent's field and or graveyard. And for Livergasm, you get to look at your opponent's extra deck and banish up to 3 monsters from it with different names. They all are really, really good effects. Livergasm is the best one because it's the Earth and all your babies are Earth. Well, unfortunately, as you can see, Konami hates Japan. Konami hates Japan. I'm sorry. That's not what I meant. What I meant to say is Konami hates dinosaurs. My apologies. They only have 1 version of this in the OCG, so we only have 1 here too. I think we've only got 1 too because this card would be pretty busted in this deck too. Now, that's not the only thing with True Kings. They do something else. And that is when they are destroyed by card effects, they also do a bonus effect too. When Agni Mazard is destroyed by a card effect, you can add 1 non-fire worm monster from your graveyard to your hand. When Livergasm is destroyed by card effect, you can add 1 non-earth worm type monster. You can special summon 1 non-earth worm type monster from your graveyard. So this adds to your hand, this special summons from your grave. The best one of those though is Barastos, and that is the water one, because this summons a worm type monster from your deck in defense position. And I just want you to have a think about what could you possibly do with a level 9 monster and another level 9 monster on your field. What could you possibly do with those 2 cards? I want you to think about that, let me know, and then I will go and talk about it a little bit later on in the video. But to help us out here, we also play 1 copy of Draconic Diagram, another card which was at 3 before Legacy of the Duelist Evolution, but now is at 1, which really hurts the starters for this deck. Man, I miss the old version of Dinosaurs. I miss this card being at 3 a lot. But what this card does is you destroy 1 card on your field or in your hand, and you could add to your hand 1 True King or True Draco card from your deck to your hand. And this lets you search out your True King cards, but it also triggers your effects because it can destroy something. It's a fantastic card, works nicely with set rotation. Play it. Now, so this is the deck so far, this is what it looks like, but we're going to now talk about the second half of the deck in the more traditional sense that I normally do this, my videos in. Starters, extenders, etc, etc, etc. So the starters for the deck are only these 10 cards here. Unfortunately, we only have 10. It would be a lot more. How much would it be? We would have 15 starters, but we don't have 15 starters. We've only got 10, which is a bit of a bummer. The other cards here that we haven't talked about though are Foolish Burial. Foolish Burial is good for 1 card really in the deck. It's good for other cards as well, but it's good for 1 really good card. And then we have Pot of Extravagance as well. You don't need your extra deck when you're playing dinosaurs. Your main deck monsters are so powerful, you don't have to use your extra deck. But this is good to kind of give you a bit of draw power to help us out here, because without it we'd be down to 7 starters, and that would be really, really bad for a deck like this. Extenders, we have loads of extenders. These are all extenders. We've got extenders in the main deck. We've got other extenders I haven't even talked about. The ones I want to talk about here are 1, Giant Rex. Giant Rex is an extender in the sense that When this card is banished, you can summon it to the field. Really good card. We have 3 Miscellaneousaurus. Miscellaneousaurus is busted. It is a fantastic card. It is both a defensive hand trap and an extender. Its hand trap based effect is during either player's main phase, you can send this card from your hand to the graveyard, and all dinosaur type monsters you control are unaffected by your opponent's card effects. This is not just the cards that are currently on the field, this is the cards that come on the field afterwards. So you can just shotgun this card, summon out your big boys, and they can't do anything about it until you're out of the main phase. It is a fantastic card. But the extended effect for this card as well is that while this card is in your graveyard, you can banish it and any number of other dinosaurs from your graveyard in order to summon out a dinosaur equal to the number of cards. It levels equal to the number of cards that you banished. Most of the time you banish 2, so you can go into a baby card, but imagine this with Giant Rex. You banish this and Giant Rex, you get a baby card from your deck, Giant Rex is to the field, and off you go, shenanigans are afoot. And a card that's also an extender but also one of your boss monsters is Oviraptor Quatilus, I'm going to say. When this card is sent to the graveyard by card effect, you can add 1 copy of Evolution Peel card from your deck, and we are playing 2 copies of Double Evolution Peel. This card works by banishing 1 dinosaur type monster and 1 non-dinosaur type monster from your graveyard or your hand to summon a level 7 or higher dinosaur monster from your deck, hand or deck. And the best cards to summon out are either your Oviraptor or your Ultimate Conductor Tyranno. If you need a form of spell and trap negation and your opponent has back row, you're going to go for this card here. If you want to just destroy your opponent, go for Ultimate Conductor Tyranno. Oviraptor is an extender another extender in a way where it can destroy 1 dinosaur type monster you control to negate a spell and trap card, which is really good because it continues your plays. Ultimate Conductor Tyranno though is just your big boy boss monster, 3500 attack, can be summoned by banishing 2 dinosaur type monsters from your graveyard, and then once per turn during either player's main phase, you can destroy 1 monster in your hand or the field and change all face up monsters your opponent controls to face down defense position. This is why this deck is so good at breaking boards. You could just literally turn off your opponent's whole entire board, and then you've got a 3500 attack monster on the field, and that's not where it stops. 1. This card can attack all monsters your opponent controls once each. Fantastic. You've just flipped them all face down. Now you can attack them all, so you're going to get rid of them all. But also, at the start of the damage step, you can choose to immediately send that card to the graveyard without battling it and burn your opponent for 1000 damage. So don't worry if they're in the defense. You're going to burn them, you're going to hurt them, and you could do a lot of damage with this card very quickly. Defensive options for the deck are very important, and it's important to know what you can do going first. I'm going to show you a combo with these cards in a second, but I'll quickly go through them. Earlier on I asked you, what can you do with 2 level 9s on the board? You can make True King of all Calamities, and this card is crazy. This card is busted, and if any deck can summon that True King of all Calamities consistently, they're going to be a top tier deck because of how crazy this effect is. Once per turn, a quick effect during either player's turn that is, you could attach 1 material from this card and declare 1 attribute. Declare Divine is the easiest thing to do. This turn, all face-up monsters on the field become their attribute. Also, monsters in your opponent's possession with that attribute cannot activate their effects or attack. This card is Mystic Bind on legs, but it's only for 1 turn, and it doesn't hurt you in any way, shape, or form. It just hurts your opponent. It is insane how powerful this effect is. It's really, really crazy, but it doesn't end there yet. Monsters that, all your True King monsters in your hand that will destroy cards with their effects can be chosen from your opponent's field. So you can say, okay, during my turn, I declare that all cards on the field are fire. Then you can use Agni Mazard and pop 2 of your opponent's card and get the whole effect of Agni Mazard's effect. Same with Balrastos, same with Livergasm. This card is insane for this deck and for the True King archetype in general. And the fact that you can easily put level 9s on the board is so good. And you are rewarded for doing so, because when you are summoning out these level 9s, you're getting more dinosaurs thanks to your baby cards. True King of all Calamities, really great card. We're going to show this to you in action very soon. We have Evil Soul cards. We have double Dolka and 1 Largia. Dolka is better than Largia. Largia can negate, not can negate, but when a monster will be normal summon or special summon, or a spell trap card is activated, you can attach 2 materials from this card to negate the summon or activation, and if you do, destroy that card. It is a very powerful negate. But what's better is Dolka, and the reason why Dolka is better is because it can only negate monster effects and destroy it, but it only has to detach one material from this card, which means you get 2 negates out of this one card because neither of these cards are harm once per turns. You could use them as much as you can, but of course if you detach 2 from this, you haven't got any more materials to detach. But Doka, you can do that twice per turn. It is a very, very good card. Onto the removal cards, we have Pankratops in this deck. Pankratops is a fantastic dinosaur. Summon him to the field. Quick effect, you can destroy any card in the field. Really, really good. You can summon it with your evolution peel, can summon it with your Petit Pteranodon. It is very, very easy to get to Pank. We have other removal cards. This isn't a removal card, this is an end game card actually. We have Chambara. You make this with 1 level 4 and your level 1 tuner. And this is a level 5 monster that can basically attack twice and do 4,200 damage to your opponent if it attacks directly. We have Trishula. This is not as good as it is in the TCG where you have more Oviraptors to use, but with more Oviraptors it's so easy to put 2 level 4s on the board. So then you summon out your Durak Alio and then you can go into a level 9. I have made Trishula in Link Evolution. It's obviously just not as easy to do as normal. And when Trishula is summoned, you can banish 1 card from your opponent's hand, field or graveyard. We have triple Phoenix because we're playing Extravagance. We have 1 copy of Pentastag, this is more of an endgame card, and 1 Reprodokus. Pentastag gives the link monster piercing damage, and Reprodokus changes the monster that it's linked to and changes their attribute, and you can do that to help you with your True King plays a little bit easier. The hardest part about building this deck is the last 6 slots. This is really for you to decide what to go there. There's so many things. Normally in the TCG, people play like 3 copies of Lightning Storm and 3 copies of Evenly because they're going to go second and they just want to break their opponent's board. And so that makes sense to do that. But you only is worth taking that risk when you know you're not only playing 1 game and you've got a 2 out of 3 match. When you're playing only 1 game like you are in Link Evolution, you have to be a bit more selective than that in order to build your deck consistently, because you're never always going to go first or never always going to go second. So I'm just going to fly through some options here. You can play hand traps like Ash. This is nice because it's a fire monster that you can burn or blow up with Agni Mazad in case you need more resources. Another fire monster that you can play is the Goron. The Goron is actually searchable as a kaiju via the Oviraptor. So what you could normally do is normal summon Oviraptor, go for the Goron and use it to tribute over a threat. Gigasaurus is a good extender because it's a level 3 dino that just special summons itself to the field. But then your opponent gets a monster. That's not too bad because you have monsters to get rid of their cards anyway. Hyper Hammerhead is pretty cool. This card is underrated. At the end of the damage step, if this card battles an opponent's monster, it is not destroyed, but it bounces back to their hand. Very good for getting rid of a lot of threats. Doesn't target. Just a great removal card. You can play another PT Pteranodon if you want to do that. Seeing as we don't have many starters, this could be a really good idea. Protect yourself from your combos by using Call by the Graves. Gold Sarcophagus and Giant Rex is a popular combo because you can banish it immediately and summon it to the field. Lightning Storm we spoke about. One card I really like is Magical Midbreaker Field. I'll talk about it in a moment. Mind Control is really good. Just take your opponent's monster, then link it away. My Monster Reborn is Monster Reborn. Mystic Mine is great to use. It's another field spell that you have as an option. Very good defensive play. If your opponent does have a combo board, you can basically just try to break their board as much as possible. And if you don't, boop, Mystic Mine. I'll wait until I get more resources. I'll try again later. Then we have Reasoning, just another special summon for the deck. Upstart Goblin, and yeah. So I'm going to go with these 6 cards here. I'm going to go with Magical Midbreaker Field, Reasoning, and also Monster Reborn. Monster Reborn and Reasoning are just extenders, and Magical Midbreaker Field is really good for this deck because you're playing set rotation. Activate this card at the start of your main phase 1 or 2. During each player's main phase 1, monsters on the field cannot be destroyed by their opponent's card effects. Also, neither player can target cards monsters their opponent controls. This is great protection for your monsters. It's kind of like Lost World in a way, and it allows you to summon big cards like Ultimate Conductor without fear of being hit by like an impermanence, an effect failure, etc, etc, etc. But what's also good about Magical Midbreaker Field and why it works so well with set rotation is that it applies to both players. Where most field spells are only things that you want for yourself, you get the benefit of Magical Midbreaker Field if your opponent chooses to activate this card. Also, whoever activates this card cannot activate or set any more field spell cards. So you can give this to your opponent, and if they're playing a deck with a field spell card in it, they can't get rid of this card for their own field spells because of Magical Midbreaker Field's effect. So this card can be really, really good to use. So that was a long deck profile and breakdown. I'm now going to show you some action, and I want to show you two videos. The first video I want to show you is of me playing against the computer, because I really wanted to point out what this deck can do when it goes first. I think going second is kind of easy to understand. You use your babies, summon bigger dinosaurs, you break boards, attack, do damage. That's kind of what dinosaurs are all about. But going first is a little bit more challenging for this deck, because it doesn't really want to go first. So here's my hand here. We have two babies extenders, one double evolution pill and extender, one true king, which is kind of like a starter extender. With the fact that we've got two baby earths, true king Lithogasm is going to do a lot of work. But we just drew it into Barrustos, which is even better. Having any true king plus a Barrustos is an instant version of true king of all Calamities, which is really, really nice. And we're going to do that here. So I'm going to use one of the baby cards, and we're going to use baby Cerosaurus, and then I'm also going to use Barrustos to summon out Lithogasm, and that comes to the field. That's one level 9. Baby Cerosaurus will trigger, and then Barrustos will trigger as well. I get the feeling that the babies are mandatory. I guess they're mandatory. I didn't realize that until just now. Now from your deck, you get to summon another true king card. So we now have 2 level 9s on the field, and then baby Cerosaurus will resolve, and I'm going to go for Giant Rex. I go for Giant Rex when I already have access to another level 4, like Soul Eating Oviraptor, because we can use your Giant Rex in order to do our other plays. But he's also a good card to banish as well. So what we're going to do now is we normal summon out Oviraptor, and we're going to get another defensive card, Miscellaneousaurus, which will protect our dinosaurs from being from your opponent's card effects during main phase 1 and main phase 2. Now we are going to, oh, why did that beep? I hope that didn't affect my recording. Now we're going to use our 2 level 4s, and we're going to go and make our XE summon. So we're going to go do Dolka for our double monster negate, in case my opponent was waiting with a Nibiru or something like that. And then after that, we're going to go and use our 2 level 9s and summon out True King of all Calamities. Calamities protected by Dolka is really, really good. Really, really great, because you've got another monster effect negation, and what a lot of people like to do is they like to wait for Calamities to activate and try to respond to the activation, but now we've got Dolka to back it up and even protect it further. But we aren't done there. We can then use double evolution pill to banish the baby in the graveyard, banish the worm in the graveyard, and then summon out a dinosaur from our deck. And our best dinosaur to summon out going first is going to be Overtex, because Overtex can negate spell and trap cards by destroying cards on your field or your hand. And so this is our board. We've got one spell and trap negation, we've got an Omni whole turn floodgate through True King of all Calamities, and then we've got double monster negation with Evil Soul Dolka. My opponent activates 6 Samurai United, and I'm just going to show you how the effects work at this point, and a little bit more what we can do with this deck. So Overtex is going to activate, and we're going to use his effect to negate the activation of this card. It's not a really great card to negate. It's only going to give them more draw power, and it doesn't really matter. But I might as well negate it, because I want to show you what happens when you now destroy Petit Pteranodon, and then we get another form of interruption. We get Pancratops to the field. So now, not only do we have a spell and trap negate that we've already used, we have True King of all Calamities, Dolka, and Pancratops. And Pancratops works like this. End phase, we can choose to activate effect, tribute itself, and then we get to destroy one card in the field as a quick effect. And so we're going to get rid of that back row card, because we don't need to worry about that anymore. And so this is an example of what this deck can do going first. I'm not going to play out this game, there's no point really. So let's go on into our online rank game for the day, and I'll talk about how this works in action, playing against real people. So, opponent chose to go second. They won the dice roll and they chose to go second. This opening hand isn't that good. We have no starters in our opening hand, and that is one of the weaknesses. We do have Anglimazard. I could use Anglimazard, but I can't. You have to have a fire monster to trigger it, so I can't even use the effect right now. There's no point of just setting baby Cerosaurus. That won't really help us. So I'm actually gonna do a big brain play here. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna pass. Just pass. Why not? If I'm dead, fine. There's no point making a weak board. I'm just gonna hold on to my resources, and then see what happens. And this is, sometimes it's worth doing that. It's worth not doing breaking your opponent's board. As you can see, my opponent's playing things like Lightning Storm in his deck, and also Exodia. It's like, oh, okay, there's nothing for me to really worry about here, so I'm not worried at all. I also think my opponent was talking some I don't know what he was saying to me at this point, but I don't think it was kind words. I think he was talking a lot of shit, but whatever, it doesn't matter too much. So he sets one card and then he passes turn, because obviously he wanted to go second for a reason. Go second Exodia. What a strange deck. So we draw into Lost World. Fine, that's pretty good. And then we're going to summon out Pankratops. Pankratops can be special summoned to the field if your opponent controls more monsters than you do. It's a really, really easy card to do. It's one of the best side deck cards in the game. And we used to play this at 3, but very rightfully so, we play it at 1. It's only 1 now because everybody played Pankratops. So we give our opponent a token. And now I'm just deciding what else to do. I think I'm going to go and normal summon one more monster out. So let's normal summon out Giant Rex and put that on the field, because the goal here is to get another level 4 to the field in a moment. So there's only one downside and weakness to Giant Rex, by the way, and the downside of Giant Rex is that you cannot attack with that card directly, and there are many situations where you do get to that point, particularly if you have Omet Conductor Tyranno, where you end up wanting to attack directly with it but you can't. So it's really good to use it as an Xyz material. So we attack the token and choose not to destroy the token using Lost World's effect by battle, and instead we get to destroy a card from our deck. So first what we're going to do is now destroy any one of our babies. If in doubt, you're not sure which baby to go for Petite Pteranodon, and then you can go into one of your bigger monsters, but either one's just as good. Both of them summon at level 4s, and so we're going to now summon out Soul Eating Oviraptor. Oviraptor then triggers, getting up another search, and so we can add from our deck to our hand another card, and we're going to go and add Miscellaneousaurus, because Miscellaneousaurus is great protection. And then we're going to attack our opponent's other face down card using Pankratops, and let's see what that is. And this card turns out to be, flipping it up, Aroma Jar. Aroma Jar is a card that says it cannot be destroyed by battle, and during the end phase of every turn my opponent is going to get 500 life points. But first we're going to use our 2 level 4s to put our negate on the board, and so we are going to summon out an Evosoul Dolka, because I'm trying to think, what do I have to worry about here? Actually, I might go for Lagia, because they're playing some kind of Exodia deck. They're not really special summoning too much. I don't think we have to worry about monster effects as much as we do spell and trap card effects. So I'm going to go for Lagia. I think that was the better choice here. So we go, we use our 2 cards, summon out Lagia. So if they summon anything we don't like, or they use a spell and trap card we don't like, we have a negate, and we also have a pop thanks to Pankratops, and we can protect our dinosaur monster using Miscellaneousaurus. By the way, if anyone's ever heard me talk about how sick I am that Konami loves dragons, this is another really good example of why. All of the Evosoul Dolka and Evosoul Lagia are bloody dragon monsters. They're not even dinos. You have to use 2 dinosaurs to make them, but they're dragons. What's the point of that? Like, oh, the natural evil form of a dinosaur is, of course, it's going to be a dragon. Yeah, just like the best version of a Dark Magician card can be a dragon card, or the best version of a warrior ends up being a dragon card. Konami, do we need to have a talk? Do we need to talk about your weird fixation with dragons? I'm just saying, they're clearly something you really like to have. So we went to our opponent's turn. He did nothing. He passed. And he's still talking mad smack, I think, to me at this point, even though I haven't recorded that because PSN doesn't record that stuff. And so we're going to pop off now. We just got a fire card. We got Miscellaneousaurus. We have Lagia on the field. So we're going to use Agni Mazard, destroy 2 cards, destroy 1 baby, destroy Miscellaneousaurus, and then we're going to go and use Baby Cerosaurus effect. Baby Cerosaurus is going to get us a dino from our deck. Doesn't really matter, to be honest with you. We can go for another copy of Baby Cerosaurus to keep the chain going, and we might as well, because we're about to do something else where we like to destroy cards on the field. And we're now going to use the effect of Lost World to give him 1 more token. More tokens for him, please. Thank you very much. Another monster with 0 defense. And now what we're going to do is play Monster Reborn to bring back one of the cards on our graveyard. So let's go and bring back Baby Cerosaurus, and we put that on our field and summon it in. Doesn't matter what position we summon it in, we're going to bring it to the field regardless. So out comes Baby Cerosaurus, and now I'm going to go to my opponent because I'm tired of the way he was talking to me. So we're going to play Baby Cerosaurus, and we're going to get rid of those 2, and we're going to summon out a nice level 2 Link 2 monster called Pentastag. Pentastag is a Link monster that gives any card linked to it piercing battle damage. Now, what card do we have in our hand that could be really good at attacking our opponent's defense position monsters with only 0 defense? That can attack every single monster once per turn, during every single turn. Oh, hi Tyranno, how you doing out there? Can we put some hurt on our opponent, please, and teach him to respect other duelists? Thank you very much. So out comes Tyranno, attack for 3,500. Thank you very much. Thank you very much indeed. Attack the next card for 3,500. He was not happy about this at this point. He thought he was going to stall me out and be like, oh, I've got Exodia, la 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 la. I don't care, dude. I'm going to win. And then we're going to attack one more time. Ultimate Conductor Tyranno. And there we go. OTK. Goodbye. And I think in total, 3,500 plus 3,500 plus 3,500 is 10,500 damage in a single turn. Guys, I hope you've seen how powerful dinosaurs are. I hope you've opened your eyes to why this deck is so good. I really wanted to cover this deck recently because I've been focusing so much on combo decks to even out the playing field, and I wanted to show you why this deck can be tier 1. We've done tier 1 style control mid-range decks like Invoked. We've done tier 1 combo decks like Dragon Link and Gem Knights and so on, and Lunar Knights. I call Lunar Knights a mid-range to combo deck really, to be honest with you. Lunar Knight Apex Avian with Infinite Negates, that's a combo deck. But the other version of Lunar Knights is more like a mid-range deck. Doesn't matter. We now have a go in second, break your board, break your ass kind of go second deck that dinosaurs present, which is really, really good. Hope you guys have enjoyed this video. Thank you as always for supporting my channel and for supporting my stuff that I do. I am working hard behind the scenes on things like Discord, improving the quality of my videos, in preparation for getting ready for Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel, because I hope to achieve some goals around that time. But for the time being, I'm still having a blast playing Link Evolution. This game is so much fun, and because you guys keep watching my stuff, it's giving me the opportunity to learn new decks. Thank you as always for tuning in. I'll see you soon. Take care.